I'm going to explain how you can get smooth skin for a full studio portrait like this. And hold on, not just that, I'm going to explain how I actually edited this image from looking like this into looking like this. And I'm going to give you my free action and the free overlays I use for this image. Let's jump right into it. So once you put your image into Photoshop, just duplicate your layer by pressing Ctrl J. So after that, you can just remove the blemishes right here and just do your focus separation. But I have a better and more easy way to do it and more faster way to do it. And I have this plugin called Retouch For Me. All I have to do is come to my action and just click on Retouch For Me right here. Now this plugin is going to help me remove the blemishes from my images. It's going to help me do my micro dodge and burn, and also it's going to help me do my global dodge and burn, and also try to fix the eyes for me. And if you want this plugin, I will leave the link where you can get 20% discount in the description below. I only advise, if you want to use this plugin, make sure you are making money from retouching or photography, because it's quite expensive. I'm not even going to lie to you. Let's just wait for it to load right now and you're going to see the magic. So it has finished playing the action. Let me just show you the magic of that action. So if I just zoom in right now, you can see this is the before. Just take a look at the image. This is the before and this is the after. The before and the after. Alright, now next thing I'm going to do, I'm still seeing some blemishes on the face, so I'm just going to remove it manually using focus separation. So I'm just going to come to my action right here, and if you don't have my action, I gave it out for free. I'll also be leaving a link where you can download it in the description below. So just come to your action, and I'm just going to play Teelens focus separation on 16 bits because this image right here is 16 bits, just like that. And for this image, I'm going to be using a focus separation blur radius of 3 because it's a full body shot. I'm going to click on OK. So for full body image like this, you can use the Gaussian blur radius of 3 to 5 for full body shot like this. So I'm just going to zoom in. So if you want to remove blemishes using focus separation, just make sure your high focus copy layer is selected, which is this first layer right here, and pick your close stamp tool. Once you pick your close stamp tool, make sure you're using a soft round brush, and make sure your mode is on normal, opacity set to 100, flow set to 100, and just zoom in and just press alternate to sample from the close by area and just brush over the blemishes you want to remove like so. And if you feel it's leaving some patches right here, so you guys can see right here, it's leaving some patches which I don't really like. So I'm just going to sample from the close by area and just fill those patches like that. Now for this part right here, since I don't want it to be too smooth, I'm just going to come to my opacity and just reduce opacity to 50% and just sample and just paint for those parts right there because I don't want to remove it totally. So I'm just going to remove it 50%. So I just reduce my opacity to 50% and just sample and paint because I don't want to take out the whole textures from that place, or else it's going to look too flat. Okay, now I'm going to take my opacity back to 100% and just fill this place right here that is looking too flat. So I'm going to sample and just paint over this place right here that is looking too flat, just like that, to fill it. So actually take your time to remove your blemishes if you are doing this. Okay, now I feel it's looking good like this. Now next I'm going to do, I'm just going to smoothen out the skin using my mixer brush tool. So basically I'm showing you my step-by-step process of how I actually edited this image. I'm not keeping anything, I'm not hiding anything. I'm also going to show you how I use liquify, how I fix the backdrop and everything. So now to use my mixer brush tool to smoothen out the skin, I'm just going to pick my mixer brush tool right here. Make sure you're also using a soft round brush. Make sure your mode is on custom, your weight is on 30, your load is on 20, your mix is on 0. You can use any mix you like, it doesn't really matter because this place right here is on transparent. My flow is set to 30. And also if you have a mixer brush setting that has been working for you, continue using it as long as you like the results you're getting. Alright, now next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to zoom in and just make sure my brush layer is selected and just hide this my high texture layer right here. So once I hide it, I'm just going to paint my highlight separately, paint my shadow separately. And for the transition between the highlights and the shadow, I'm just going to increase my brush size a little bit and just brush on the transition between the highlights and the shadow, just like that. Alright, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit like this, okay? And just brush on this place right here, this highlight right here. And also you can use the square bracket key on your keyboards to increase and decrease your brush size like so. Alright, so sample layer is selected because I'm brushing on an empty layer. If you are brushing directly on the low frequency, sample layer should be unchecked. Okay, so I'm just going to paint on the highlight separately, the shadow separately, and the midtones separately, like so. Okay, so let me just show you the before and after. This is the before and the after. Let me show you. So the before and the after, the before and the after. Now I'm just going to use my close stamp tool to remove those hairs on the leg, just to make everything smooth. So remember to always pay attention to details. So if you are retouching your image, just actually take your time, pay attention to details, and actually fix what needs to be fixed, like so. Okay, so I'm just going to use my close stamp to fix this place a little more. So I'll take my opacity back to 50%, sample, and just paint on this place right here, just to fix it even more. Okay, looking much more better right now. So I like it like this. So these are focus separation, the before and the after, the before and the after. Now next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to even out the colors of the skin. Now you can actually use the Retouch For Me to even it out, or you can do it manually. For those of you who don't have the Retouch For Me, I'm just going to do it manually for you. But if you have this Retouch For Me, here's how you can do it. So just create a stamp visible layer by pressing Ctrl Shift Alternate E. And after that, I'll come to my filter, I'll come to Retouch For Me, and I'll click on skin tone right here. Once I click on skin tone, it's just going to analyze the image and actually make the skin tone look even automatically. I don't have to do anything. Okay, now if I just zoom in, you can see it has even out the skin color. So I can change the blend from 100 to 200. I'm just going to make it even more intense like that, but I think 100 works. So I'm just going to leave it in 100, like so. And if I want to use Retouch For Me, all I can do is just click on apply. I'm going to apply that settings. Let me show you how you can do it manually as well. So I'm just going to cancel this. Now if you want to do it manually, all you have to do is click on this color correction right here. Once you click on it, it's going to open a gradient for you. You just double click on the gradient and not the layer mask. Make sure the gradient is selected, so double click on it and just click on this drop down icon right here. Now we have our shadows, we have our midtones, and we have our highlights right here. So I'm going to click on the shadow area and just sample any color from the shadow. So I'm going to sample this place right here as a shadow, and click on the midtones and just sample any place on the midtones. I'm going to sample right here as the midtones and click on the highlight and just sample this highlight on the cheek right here as the highlight and click on OK and just close it. Now I'm going to click on the layer mask right here. Once I click on the layer mask, make sure your normal brush is selected, and also you're using a soft round brush. Make sure your foreground color is set to white. If it's on any color, I said black and white, just click on this black and white right here to bring it to default. And if the foreground color is set to black, just click on this arrow right here to toggle between white and black like that. So once it's on white, just zoom in and just paint on any part of the skin like so with your brush. So make sure opacity set to 100, flow set to 100, and just brush on only the skin of the image, just like that, just to even out the color right there. And I know it's not looking good right now, but I'm going to show how you can actually modify it to make it look even more better. Okay, and if you feel you make a mistake like I did right here, you can just switch to your black brush and just remove it with your black brush, or you can use your eraser tool to erase it if you want. All right, I'm going to show you how you can actually fix the tummy. We are going to get there. So I'm going to paint on this hand right here, just to even out the colors. So next I'm just going to feather it. So once I click on this layer mask, I'm going to click on properties. And if you can find your properties, come to your windows and click on properties right here, and you're going to see your properties, and just feather it to smoothen out the edges, just to make the edges smooth like so. All right, so like this works for me. So let me just feather it a little bit. So like this works for me. And next I'm going to change the blend mode from normal to color and just reduce the opacity until I feel it's looking okay. So I think 18 works for me, or let me take it down a little bit. So I think 15 works for me, or 16. So this is the before and this is the after. So this is how you can actually even out the colors on your skin. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to fix the background and apply the overlay before I actually show you how you can actually fix the tummy in case you have situations like this. Now to fix the background, I'm going to create a stamp visible layer by pressing on Ctrl Shift Alternate E. And after that, I'm going to pick my patch tool and just bring this place right here like this and just remove the distractions which I don't really like with my patch tool. So just try as much as possible to make your background clean. And also the Retouch For Me also have a plugin where AI can actually help you fix your background automatically. All I have to do is play that plugin. So you can come to your filter, come to Retouch For Me and click on clean up background, and it will automatically clean the background for you. But I know majority of you don't have it, so I'm going to do it manually so that you can see it. Okay. Alright. Now after that, I'm just going to select my subject out of the background. And also, since I use Optical Snot for this image, I'm just going to make the Optical Snot effect more visible so that you can see it. So this is what I mean right here. I'm going to put it on the screen so you can understand what I mean. So this is what I'm trying to do to make the Optical Snot more visible. Alright. Now I'm just going to crop this image 4:5. So I'll come to my crop tool. I'll click on ratio, click on 4:5, and just crop it because I want it to fit for Instagram. Okay, so 4:5 works for me. I'm going to click on content aware fill right here and click on OK. Now next I'm going to do, I'm going to separate my subject from the background. So I'll come to my object selection tool or any selection tool and just click on select subject. And if you want to precise and better location, you can just click on select with cloud right here and click on select subject. Now I'm just going to select subject for you, and the selection is pretty accurate. I won't change anything, so I like this selection like this. So next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to invert the selection so that I can select the background. So I'm going to press on Ctrl Shift I to invert that selection. So once I invert the selection, I'm just going to press on Ctrl J to cut out my subject from the background. And next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come to my subject layer. Let me just rename this one subject so you can understand better, and rename this one background. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to select my subject layer and bring back that selection by pressing Ctrl and clicking on this background selection and bring back this selection. So once I bring back the selection, with my subject layer selected, I'm going to invert that selection again by pressing on Ctrl Shift I. So if you are confused, just play back this step so you can understand it better. Alright, now after I invert the selection again, I'm going to add a layer mask to hide the subject, just like that. Alright, now I'm going to come to my background layer and just bring my background layer below the subject layer, just like that. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to convert this my background layer into a smart object. So I'll come to my filter and convert to smart filter. Alright, now the reason I convert to smart filter, I'm going to blur it, and if I feel the blur is too much, I can actually go back and change the blur radius. So I'll come to my filter, I'll come to my blur, I'll come to Gaussian blur, and I'm just going to blur it. So I'm just going to move the radius until I feel it's okay. Okay, so I think 45 is too much. Let's use 36. So I feel 36 works for me, and I'm going to click on OK. Alright, now it's time to make the optical snot more visible. Now to do that, I'm going to pick my marquee tool, elliptical marquee tool to be precise. So just click on the elliptical marquee tool like this. Now with my elliptical marquee tool selected, I'm just going to draw a circle like this and make it fit with the optical snot right there. Alright, I feel the circle is looking okay. Now I'll go to my adjustment layer. I'll click on curves adjustment layer right here and just click on default and click on lighter RGB like that, and just take it up even more like this, and press on Ctrl T and just move it to make it fit with that optical snot right there. So I feel it's looking good like this. But if you look at the edges, you can see the edges are too hard, and I don't want those hard edges. Now to fix that, I'm going to come to my filter and click on blur right here, click on Gaussian blur, and just blur it until I feel it's okay. So I think radius of 11 works. Okay, it's too much, so I'm going to take it down a little bit, maybe 12.5. So 12.5 works, so you can just move the blur radius until you feel it's okay. So I think 19 works better. I'm going to use 19 and click on OK. Now you can see we have that optical snot effect and it's looking really good right now. So this is the before and the after. The before and the after. Now to make it more realistic, because it's optical snot, it should be in the subject body as well. That means I should make the subject a little bit more brighter. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to duplicate this layer like this. So I'm going to take it above the subject layer like this. And it's going to be affecting the subject like this. And what I can do, I'm just going to pin it to the subject. So I'm going to clip it to the subject. So you can right click and just use clipping mask right here to clip it to the subject and just reduce the opacity because we don't want it to be too much on the subject face like that. We just want it to look more realistic. So just take the opacity down. So this is the before and the after. It's looking much more realistic right now. So I'm going to show you everything I did right now so I can show you the before and after. And also we can fix the tummy before I actually apply the overlay. So I'm going to group everything I did now. Okay, so this is the before, you can see, and this is the after. The before, the after. Now let me show you how you can actually fix the tummy. So I'm going to be using liquify and dodge and burn to actually fix the tummy right here. So I'm going to create a stamp visible layer by pressing Ctrl Shift Alternate A. So once I create the stamp visible layer, I'll come to my filter. I'll come to liquify. So once on my liquify, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit to the tummy and just pick my forward warp tool and just push this part inside like so. Just push this part inside like this. Okay. And move this part inside. Let me just zoom in. And move this part inside as well. Like so. Okay. Okay. And this part as well. Now pick this tool right here, which is this poker tool, and just increase my brush size and just paint on the tummy and just use it to click on the tummy like this, just to make the tummy go inside a little bit. So I'm going to stop here right now. So this is the before and the after. The before and the after. Now you can see I'm affecting this hand right here, the before and the after. So I'm going to pick my forward warp tool again and just push it back to normal like so. Okay. Alright, I'm going to click on OK. Now I'm going to run my dodge and burn action just to fix it even more. So I'll click on my action, click on Teelens dodge and burn, and I'll come to my dodge, pick my normal brush tool, make sure my flow is set to 3%, and just dodge this part right here looking too dark like so with my white brush. So make sure your focal color is set to white and just dodge this dark part like this just to make it look bright, to make it look flat like so. Alright, so let me just group everything I did for the tummy so you can see how I actually fixed that tummy. So this is the before and the after. The before and the after. So that's how you can do that. Now let me just apply the overlay. Before I do that, let me do the eyes and teeth whitening. So just come to my action again and click on eyes and teeth whitening and just paint on the bright part of the eyes like so. And take your flow back to 100% and just paint on the white parts of the eyes just like so. Okay, and do the same thing for this side. This is the before and the after, and I'm just going to reduce the opacity because I feel it's looking too much. It's too much. It's too low right now. I'm going to take it up a little bit like so. Okay, now I feel it's looking good like that. Now it's time to apply the overlay. So all I can do is just come to my overlay where the overlay is. So Ctrl E, come to my windows. So I'm just going to click and drag it into Photoshop and just change it from normal to screen and just put it down like this. Okay, and I'm just going to reduce the opacity a little bit. Now I want it to be white, so I'll go to my adjustment layer, click on my hue and saturation adjustment layer, and after that I'm just going to clip it to this overlay right here which I added and just click on colorize, and from here I can just change the color to the way I want. So I'm going to desaturate it a little bit so that it's going to be white like that. Okay, now I can reduce the opacity even more. Now next I'm going to do, I'll come back to my overlay again. So I'm going to click this one right here and just drag it inside the Photoshop, and I'll be giving out this overlay. I'll be leaving a link where you can download it in the description below. So once the Photoshop, I'm just going to change the blend mode again from normal to screen and just adjust it until I feel it's okay. So I think like this works. I'm going to click on OK. Now what I can do, the same thing I did, I'm just going to duplicate this hue and saturation layer and just take this one up and just clip it to this overlay right there and just maybe reduce the opacity. Okay, now you can see it's not looking realistic. You can see this part right here. I'm just going to fix that, and to fix that, once the overlay layer is selected, add a layer mask and just use a black brush like this, your normal brush, to use a black brush and just erase it from the place you don't want. So anyone you don't want, just erase it out like that. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing for this one right here. Add a layer mask with my black brush and just erase those ones that has lines right there which I don't really like, and just erase it like so. Okay, all right, now it's looking much more better. So let me just group everything I did so you can see. So this is the before and this is the after. The before and the after, if you feel it's too much, you can just reduce the overall opacity just to make everything blend like so. All right, so let me just group everything I did so I can show you the before and the after. Ctrl G. So this is the before and this is the after. The before and the after. Click on this video right here to watch how you can actually retouch your image in just one click using the Retouch For Me. I'll see you guys in my next one. Stay creative.